Here is a very basic glitching icon effect. Let's check how they work. Basically, everything just coming from one noise texture with the icon texture. Any picture you want to get in glitching effect, just apply it to here. So in the beginning, we need to figure out the UV, how they working. So my idea is making a horizon glitching, so I get the V direction and multiply the grid amount value. You can control how many glitching lines you need. So make the V gradient across this function to get the square. It will be the posterized look. So you can make the noise texture to get the line by line look. And here, I append this value, this result into the U, the new U. And for the V, I get the random value from time. It will be like a penner function doing. So apply to the V and I get the new UV here. And use this new UV to the noise. And we got this rendering line. And this is the main glitching value. So in this is a general texture, so which means the value is from 0 to 1. It's a default compression setting, so it's a general PNG texture here. But we want to do the glitching, so which means it will include the moving left and right side at the same time. So not if I only get the value from 0 to 1, which means it will only moving on the left side. So I need to remapping work. To remapping 0 to 1 to be -1 to 1. So I multiply 2 and subtract 1. And here, modify a strength to control how strong of the glitching. And the upside here, I want to make a mask to to define how many glitching lines I need, less or more. And the idea is getting the same UV and add a value, which means I will offset a bit the texture, not sampling the same UV with the main one. If using the main one, I will remove some result, what I need, especially on the same side, which means I will missing the right side or the left side. It's not cool for me, so I need to offset the texture. So the idea is just randomly adding any value here to offset your texture based on the same UV. And getting here, I got a new glitching result, the rendering value result from the texture, and add a value, taking the flow function, set up kinds of threshold. If the value over to 1 is will got 1, less than 1 is will got 0. So I got a random mask here, so I can define how many I need rendering. Yeah, so this is a function what is working here, and the function below, I need to get the flickering value to make it not frequently to happen, the glitching. It's kind of rendering, flickering. So the idea also coming from the same noise texture. In general, most of people were doing input the time value here. We got a random, getting easy. But here is the tip I want to share. It's talking about how to sampling the random value from a noise texture. The way the common way most people doing just apply the fractal value from time and getting this. But in this result, which means the U and B will read in the same value. For example, in the beginning, here is a 0 and 0. If you apply the same value from time, which means the U and B got the same value in the beginning, 0 and 0, and 0.1 and 0.1 in here. Let me point out here, wait a minute. So in the beginning is here is 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 2, 1 here. So which means you only sampling this diagonal direction line, only sampling here and here is totally not being sampled. So you cannot get any value from here, but it's kind of pretty wasting, which means you waste almost 99% data from this noise texture. So only read on this line, and it will go in infinity. So the solution is I'm making the function. I using a different duration from the time reading the value. So on the U duration, I get in the 1 second as a duration. For the B, I define the 32 second as a duration, which means in the same run, 1 second, the value will start from here to here, and the second run, because the V is moving the duration much longer, so in the second run it will start from here again and again and again until the end. So I can sample most of the data from this texture. So this is the idea here I want to talking about. I want to share. You can see in the second line, I get this function fmod to based on this value. It will be defined as the duration 32 seconds. So it means 32 seconds will get the 1 round. But in the top, I just applied with using the fract value. So 1 second will be the 1 round, 1 duration. So you can see how different between if I turn the time be faster. Yeah, so the result we can, in this result, we can a bit optimize the data reading from the noise texture. So let me connect to here. So we can get this different result value. And one more thing, we can analyze, we can observe the result what we see if we using the general way to read the fractal value for both of U and B. You can see the result here is kind of looping. Can you feel that? You can see it's kind of looping because it's based on the diagonal direction and repeat this direction infinity. So the value will be very easy to get kinds of looping, repeated feeling, even though we sampling from a noise texture. So this is a kind of small trick here I want to share. So let's keep moving on. Almost there. So we multiply into the main Glitch value and apply this Glitch value to be U and append with the 0 because we don't need to change anything for the V direction. So I make it to the U direction and with the general UV apply to the texture. So it's done. We can make this kinds of glitching look. So this is the basic way. So layer also have a lot of variation. If you want to make the both sides, you also I mean both direction, not only horizon, you also can get the vertical direction. You also can do it like this. Let me increase the glitch amount, so you can see we get more, much more, and include the vertical direction. So it's pretty fun here, right? So in the next step, for this kinds of gradient effect, we also get used to add kinds of chromatic aberration look. So we just need to do some minor changing here. The basic idea is making RGB channel with a bit different shifting the UV position to get the different look and combine them into one. So for here, I need to make a gradient offset. It's just quite repeat work, just copy and paste and something different. Yeah, of course you can make it quite separate into within different value, but in this case I prefer to make it simple, just based on send offset amount and multiply a negative direction to get the new one, and we have to add to the original UV. Okay, apply to here, and now we need to merge them. Pen many is much easier. So one by one by R and G and B, and this will be our emissive color. So how about the opacity, the alpha? It should to merge both of three, and here we have to use the max. Okay, we got the opacity and the emissive. So you can see here's get a bit color on the edge due to the channel offset. So it can be kinds of a chromatic aberration look. Yeah, so for this kinds of gradient effect, there are many different ways, different cool ideas can make it more interesting, more sci-fi looking or HUD look. So here, so this is a basic way we make the glitch and the chromatic aberration look. Hopefully you like it, and we can keep moving on to develop this graph to make it more interesting. See you next time.